Good morning, everybody. We're going to conclude the week of reviews with another Hanson review. This week, we're going to take a look at an album of basically demo recordings of some of or early recordings of some of the songs that would appear on Middle of Nowhere in 1998. Called Three Car Garage, the indie recording, which was the album was released on May 12th of 1998, but recorded in 1996. And like I said a second ago, it was an album. It is an album of early recordings, some of which would appear on Middle of Nowhere in 1998, and others wouldn't appear on a record except for this one, and a couple of them Hanson would perform live in acoustic performances. But some of my favorites include the early version of With You in Your Dreams, which closes the record. This version is more it's more straight ahead and not with a lot of the production flash that the Middle of Nowhere version would have, and I love this version because it kind of reminds me of the acoustic version that was on Live from Albertine. The only thing that I can say that is kind of jarring from the Middle of Nowhere version is that the harmonies, or some of the harmony parts, aren't as polished as the Middle of Nowhere version. And of course, With You in Your Dreams is always one of my favorite Hanson numbers, but it's also one of those numbers that I can't listen to very often without getting teary. But another favorite of mine is the whole reason that I downloaded this record, because I loaded it off of iTunes years ago, was a song called River, because I had never heard the studio version of River, because it's always been one of my favorite Hanson numbers from Middle of Nowhere, and the studio version of River is not too dissimilar from the live version from Live from Albertine, except that it is kind of I would say it's a little slower than the live version, and but it's tremendous. Another song on here that I like is a song called Stories We Could Tell, or something like that. You'll have to look at the screen recording, which I think is a song that Hanson that they did on tour when they were touring behind Middle of Nowhere, because I have an acoustic video version of it on From Tulsa to Tokyo, or from the Live from Albertine video, or maybe it's on From Tulsa to Tokyo, I can't remember. But anyway, and it's nice to have a studio version of that too. And one of the another song that is kind of drastically different from the album version on Middle of Nowhere is Bop. It is slower, considerably slower than the album version, and it doesn't have, um, which is something that I like about it. It doesn't have the turntable scratch noise. I have never liked the fact that they added the turntable noise into the record because they're not a hip hop band and stuff. But anyway, I like the straight ahead rock versions of Bop much better. Um, and one of the things that you'll notice when you listen to Three Car Garage is that the instrumentation is not quite as polished as well. You can tell they're feeling their way around these songs, and actually they're also feeling their way around as musicians because Hanson started out as a vocal group, and then they learned to play, and then they took up instruments, and so I think they were still feeling their way around their instruments at this point too, which I think is cool because it kind of shows you, where that it kind of shows you their evolution as a band. And but and one thing, when I was listening to the record while I was preparing for the video yesterday, I had forgotten that my copy is somewhat out of order for some reason. I can't remember, but there's actually maybe 12 songs on the record, and I think mine only has 10 for some reason. I can't remember. But another song that's on here from Middle of Nowhere another song that is on here from Middle of Nowhere is Thinking of You, and that's not too dissimilar to the album version on Middle of Nowhere, except it's a tad bit slower than the album version. But overall, I really enjoy this record. I give this 5 stars. Shot and produced by Adam Bauer. Photos by Google Images. Audio and video provided by Pixabay and the YouTube Music Library. Screen recording taken from Wikipedia. Voiceover recorded using WeVideo.